Oh man, so a big day for Bitcoin, specifically up 1.5% today and as high as $45,000 today. But I'm going to be answering a question which I've been getting a lot over the last few hours, which is why are altcoins such as ADA and COTI not moving even though Bitcoin is running up to 45,000? We're going to look at these key levels where I'm going to explain exactly what is going on. If you haven't watched my Bitcoin video from earlier, make sure you go and watch that as well, as it explains exactly why Bitcoin is moving. We'll cover off some of that in this video also, because Bitcoin is sitting quite pretty here. It's had a nice run up today. You can see this dotted line is where the day began, and we had a good run up, specifically in this hourly candle here. We knew we faced some resistance at 44.5, and we ran up through that before falling back down. Now it looks like we're trying to collect some support from 43.5. Even if we need to come down to 43, that's absolutely fine, but fully expect us to continue to head to the upside. But make sure you go watch my video from earlier, because in that video I explain exactly why this pump on Bitcoin is so different from me and why this is one of my favorite pumps probably of all time since I've been investing crypto. This one has got me excited more than any, guys, more than any. And that doesn't mean we're going to continue to the upside right now. We may well get a retracement, but in that video I explain exactly why. In this video we're going to focus on why are altcoins not moving, what's going on. If we look at ADA, we can see we're still exactly in our trend. Let's switch over to the daily, because you'll see exactly where we are here on these altcoins. We're still in our downward trend. What is going on? We can't break the long-term downward trend. If we look at COTI, very similar. And moreover, the whole market today is not moving in terms of most altcoins, okay? And the reason is very, very simple, guys. Today, Bitcoin is moving based on fundamental narratives. And this is why it's so important. We are seeing new additions to the Bitcoin world. More people opening up wallets. We can see the evidence here. Here's the number of addresses with balance over 1K. Huge spike here. What is going on? Well, we know what is going on. We're seeing narratives in the world today where first world countries are making active use of Bitcoin, not for speculation, not for the price to go up, not to play some games as a risk on asset, no, but because they actually need the technology that Bitcoin provides. Whether it's Russian citizens who are now entrapped by sanctions due to their government's decisions, not their own personal decisions, whether it's oligarchs who maybe do have close ties with Putin and deserve to be sanctioned. Maybe those are the people flocking to Bitcoin. You've also got Ukrainian citizens flocking to Bitcoin because they realize how much of a stress it was running to ATMs, struggling to get their own cash out in the moment that they needed it most. We got Canadians running to Bitcoin after seeing how easy it is for their assets to be frozen, okay? So many different narratives going on right now, and all of these emphasize why you specifically need to take control of your finances. And I don't just mean buy Bitcoin. That's the first step. You should also not be buying on a centralized exchange. Keeping your crypto on a centralized exchange. You can buy on one, but move it off to cold storage. I've left a link below to TREZOR, who've been kind enough to give you guys an offer. When I heard all this happening, I knew you guys are going to need a hardware wallet. So I reached out to the team at TREZOR, who've been kind enough to offer you guys 25 euros when you get yourself set up with a TREZOR. So click the link in the description, check that out, get yourself set up on a hardware wallet, and move the majority of your funds onto a hardware wallet. Very, very important that you do so, because we've just seen that first world countries are willing to freeze assets, and it could be something which is completely out of your hands, but suddenly one day you could wake up with your assets frozen, whether it's a yacht, whether it's a house, whether it's cash. It can all be taken by the government, whether it's a company. But one thing we know they can't take is Bitcoin or crypto, which is on a hardware wallet. If it's centralized, they can still take it. We saw that they're putting pressure now on centralized exchanges to ban Russian citizens, okay? Now, Binance did come out and say, we'll ban those who are on the sanction list, but we're not going to do a blanket ban of all Russians. But how long is that going to last? The reality is, like we saw with Apple, when they're forced to turn over data, these firms turn over data because they're just business. They're capitalists, right? They want their businesses to run. So if the government goes up to Coinbase and says, turn off these Russian addresses, and Coinbase say no, they'll lose their license to trade, right? But so they're not going to do it. So ultimately, we can't trust these centralized exchanges. We need to move across to hardware wallets. So that's the first lesson we've learned. And that is why we're not seeing altcoins move, because fundamentally, this is not a move based on risk on. Remember how we said that Bitcoin was moving as a risk on asset for a long period of time? This move today is not that. And the evidence is very simple. If I head over to the markets, which we know we're monitoring, we got the Dow down 1%. You got 0.75% down on the S&P. We got the Nasdaq down. There's no cooling off in the tension. Ukraine's president appeals to EU as vast Russian convoy nears Kiev. I mean, literally at the time of speaking, I've just seen a notification come on Twitter. Russian Defense Ministry warns of high precision strikes in Kiev. This is escalating. Tensions are rising. There's no path to the way down just yet, right? So if anything, Bitcoin should be selling off, but we're not seeing that. Why? Because fundamentally people are using it. Huge difference, guys. If people are actually using the asset class for the intended purpose, that is a huge, conviction rally for us. And it doesn't matter if the price goes down. The price can go down tomorrow back to 35. But we've seen how first world countries are using crypto and how it made a difference to people's lives. And that is why we need to invest with a long horizon, because that is what we're in crypto for. And that is where the true value will be created. When you understand these trends, you understand the chasm that we are crossing, and you invest in it. That's where true wealth is built. So if we head on over to the charts, you can see if we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, we're seeing Bitcoin dominance move to the upside. A nice move here to 33.88. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see this run up to 50. 50 wouldn't be out of the realms of possible. That's where we initially got rejected from here on the Bitcoin dominance, because now we're seeing money flock into Bitcoin. And the good thing is this. All coins will get their time, guys. What happens is this is inviting new people to crypto. People are actually going and setting themselves up on a crypto, on a hardware wallet, doing the right things to get themselves in the crypto ecosystem. And obviously they're going to start with Bitcoin. I started with Bitcoin. No doubt many of you guys would have started with your first crypto purchase being Bitcoin. And then what happens afterwards? You start getting comfortable. You start looking for more yield. You start staking. You start yield farming. You start playing around with some altcoins. And then you start finding some of these other great projects. So the more money in the system is great, as eventually it flocks out into the rest of the altcoins as well. So to answer the question, very straightforward. We can see Bitcoin is having its moment, not as a risk on asset, but as a true hedge against the existing fiat system, where the existing system failed, where assets are being frozen, when people are unable to take money out of an ATM, or your governments are freezing your accounts for whatever reason because you're protesting, or you're getting hit by sanctions. You can flock to crypto, which is decentralized. And ironically, it's helping all parties in this conflict, right? It's helping everybody, because that's what decentralized is. There's no taking sides. There's no you're right or you're wrong. And that's the reality of it. That's what we need. That's what decentralization is. Because if you're a Russian citizen and you didn't want this war, and you didn't want this conflict, but suddenly now you're struggling to feed your kids, or you can no longer run your business or make remittances to your family abroad. How is that fair? It wasn't your decision. I'm a UK citizen. I never voted for all these wars that UK got involved in, whether it was Syria, Libya, Iraq. Imagine I got penalized every time for that. That's unfair. And that is why crypto gives you that level playing ground. And that is why we're seeing Bitcoin moving and altcoins holding up a little bit. As always, just a quick update for you guys asking me these questions. I was getting the questions so much today. Hope you guys found this useful. Don't forget to check out the video on Bitcoin and why this pump specifically is so important to me, and why I think this really does set us up for the longer term view. Yes, we may fall back down as tensions continue to escalate, but the fact that we saw this pump and we saw these fundamental changes in terms of the addresses and the activity really do get me excited for the future. I'll link that video in the top right somewhere here on the end screen. Make sure you click that video, go watch that video, hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to get yourself set up on a hardware wallet. Links in description to get yourself set up on a TREZOR wallet. You'll get a free €25 voucher just for doing so. Get yourself set up on how many more times can I say, guys? You guys need to be on a hardware wallet. The majority of your funds should be tied away, not on a centralized exchange. Really, really important. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, smash up the likes, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.